On January 14th, 2011, polling you, number 27. Greeting Bridge friends, it's Michael here at BridgeHands, and today we have a recorded guest, the world-class bridge teacher, Jerry Helms, has 18,000 master points. He travels the world teaching bridge, and here we're taking a look at his website. Here in his photo gallery section is a picture of him. He's a great supporter of bridge at the Atlanta Junior Bridge Seminar. And scrolling down a little bit, here he is with Janet Case, supporting the American Contract Bridge League for their Employee of the Year Award. And here we have a picture of Jerry with some professionals. He's in front, Joyce Hampton, with Steve Weinstein, Eric Rodwell, and partner Jeff Mextroth, and the late, great Paul Soloway. If we were to go to Jerry's website, it is jerryhelms.com. That's JERRYHELMS.com. And in addition, you can take a look where his seminars are upcoming. He travels the world a lot. He's a roadie. You can take a look at some of his Ask Jerry section, where each month on the American Contract Bridge League, where he's asked questions by bridge players, he gives a response. And so you'll find those on the website as well. But let's go right into his lesson without further ado. How do we do with slam, grand slam bidding? Okay, here we go. Over to you, Jerry.
What's the purpose of a Jacoby transfer? The reason most people say it is to make the strong hand become the declarer so the opening lead will come into it. I will freely acknowledge that is one of the reasons to play Jacoby. It's not to me the most important reason, but it is one. I would like for you to feast your eyes upon the south hand. Everybody, take a look at the south hand. Did you like your hand when you picked it up? Did you like it even better when your partner opened a no trump? Now, let's go gently into this. I already said when I thought about slams that slams were about power, fit, and controls. Looking at the power of the south hand and considering the power expressed by the North's opening bid, from a sheer power standpoint, are we in the slam consideration zone? Check. The second factor is fit. Is there anything about what you see and what you've heard that would lead you to think you know what the trump suit should be? Well, something about 7 almost completely solid hearts opposite a partner who has 2 or 3 cards in every suit makes me think we're going to play hearts. The third thing is controls. Now, this hand, let me ask you this. Who do you think's got the strongest hand on this? Me or your partner? My hand is stronger than partner's. Why would I ever want to make a bid so I could put this hand down in the dummy so the opening lead could be a diamond through my king? Let me tell you what, if they let a diamond and partner was kind of thinking, I'd want to throw up because it'd make me think we were off the ace, queen of diamonds, and playing second is not a real good thing with the king of diamonds. How would you feel on a low spade lead if your partner started thinking? I'd think, not too good, might be off the ace, queen of spades. Something to me would make me think that if that would be me and partner, we're going to play this hand, that it might be just as well for me to play the hand so the opening lead in diamonds would come into my king, or if I played the hand, the opening lead in spades would come into the king. Why in God's green earth would I want to transfer so that the strong hand goes on the table? Making a transfer on a hand like this is a complete, utter, absolute reflex mistake. You are bidding reflexively rather than thoughtfully. Well, we play transfers. I had to transfer. Why? Did somebody put a gun to your head? Now, to me, since the power for a slam is established via the opening bid and what I hold, since the fit for slam is clear to me because of what I can see and what I've heard, despite what my son would tell you, he sometimes thinks that I ask questions that are irrelevant. I don't know why he would think that. I would personally just go right ahead and ask the only question that makes any damn difference on this hand about whether we play 4, 5, 6, or 7. What's the only thing that's going to keep me out of a slam here? The number of aces we don't hold. Therefore, I would ask the only question that has any relevance whatsoever right now. Over 1 no trump, I would bid 4 clubs, which is Gerber saying, partner, count them on your fingers and toes and let me know where we're going. Now, if my partner thought about that for a while and bid 4 diamonds, which would say he or she had none or 4, I'd look down and say, boy, that's real unlucky. She hasn't got any. The opponents have 3, and I would quit in 4 hearts. If I bid 4 clubs and she bid 4 hearts saying she or he had 1, I'd say, well, that's nice. We've got 3 of the 5 key cards, but since we're off 2 of them, I quit in 4. If she bid 4 spades saying she had 2, I would say, well, I'll take a chance and bid 6, especially with the opening lead coming into my protected kings rather than silly putting them down in the dummy. But on this hand, your partner's going to say they have 3. Now, at this point, we're going to continue with our little experiment. I want you to pretend for a moment, looking at the south hand, that your partner, who just showed you 3 aces, had taken leave of her senses and had 3 aces with no kings, no queens, or no jacks. You don't see her hand. All you know is she has 3 aces. But she has 15 to 17, but she lost it. She thought you were playing 12 to 14, whatever. If she had 3 aces and a balanced hand, count the tricks you can count right now. If she has the ace of spades, are you a favorite to take 2 spades? Are you a favorite to take 7 hearts, which puts you to 9, 2 diamonds, which puts you to 11, and the ace of clubs for 12? So at this point, truthfully, you do know that if your partner has 3 aces, no kings, no queens, no jacks, you have 12 almost certain tricks. What does it take, weenies, to bid a grand slam? What does it take? What do you need? On this hand, I would bid 5 clubs asking for kings. And if a partner had a king, I would bid 7 no trump, because I could count 13 tricks. What should you lead against 7 hearts? Well, my question becomes, what is your objective defending 7 hearts? To take a trick. So take a trick if you ever had a trick. You don't have to build up a trick. You simply have to hold on to a trick if you held it, or hold on to a trick if your partner held it. When people bid grand slams, it is rare that the problem in play in a grand slam is the trump suit. I've been in a lot of grand slams that made, I've been in some that didn't make, but it's been a rare day in a grand slam that I lost a trump trick. Therefore, when you're on lead against a grand slam, you should choose the most passive possible opening lead. A passive lead is a lead that may not gain anything, but it's a lead that doesn't cost you anything. Now, if you've got a king-queen combination in any suit, how could it be wrong to lead the king? If you have a queen-jack-10 in any suit, how could it cost to lead the queen? But if you don't have a clear, constructive sequence of honor cards to build up a potential trick, I always lead a trump. The effect of leading a trump is like saying, what is yours is yours. About the last thing you want to do is lead from 3 small clubs or 3 small diamonds and find your partner with queen fourth of that where they had a 50-50 chance of taking the setting trick and you pick it up at trick 1. Find them with jack fourth where they guess the suit full. A trump lead against a grand slam is very close to automatic. Now, a small slam, is that different? In a small slam, my goal is 2 tricks. Therefore, I often make aggressive leads against small slam, trying to build up the trick we need so that when we trick the trick we always had, that we go plus. I don't need to build up a trick against a grand slam. I just need to hang on to it if it was ever out there. You're in 7 hearts, they let a trump. They know about leads. 7 hearts played by the south hand on a heart lead. Play it, see if anybody gets the style points. Figure it out. You're in 7 hearts. Now, for starters, the dummy is a disappointment. Your partner has put down mirror images in the spade suit. The fact that you have the ace, king, queen, jack of spades yields you only 2 tricks because both of you have 2. The tricks you have here are 7 hearts and 2 spades for 9, 2 diamonds for 11, and a club for 12. If your partner had had the queen of diamonds instead of the queen of spades, you had 13 tricks. If she had a third spade, you had 13 tricks. You could sit and lament how poorly the dummy has been placed in front of you, or you could simply try to make it, which is what I would do. You have 2 ways to make this hand. One way is exactly 50-50. You can simply extract trump, pin everything on the favorable location of the queen of diamonds by playing the king of diamonds and a diamond to the jack, and every time the queen is on your left, you take 13 tricks, and every time the queen is on your right, you take 12 tricks. To which you say, see, I told you only would have been 6, it's your fault. However, before I went to the 50% play, I'd try the 87% one. Check out the number of clubs between your hand and the dummy. Do you see 6 clubs between your hand and the dummy? How many clubs does that leave the opponents? 7 is an odd number. How will 7 clubs divide most of the time? 4-3, 62% of the time. You don't need to know 62, but I'm telling you, they will be 4 in one hand, 3 in the other, 62% of the time. If, in fact, the clubs are 4 in one hand, 3 in the other, what would happen if you played clubs 5 times? Your last club would be good. The way I would play this hand is I would win the trump lead and play a second trump because I still have 5 entries to the dummy and trumps are gone. I would play the ace of clubs, ruff a club. If everybody followed suit, that's great. I would lead a card to the dummy and ruff another club. Now, if they followed suit 3 times now, I know they're 4-3. I can just cross to the dummy, ruff another club, cross to the dummy, and cash the 5th club. If, when I ruff the 3rd club, somebody discards, well, that means they weren't 4-3, were they? They were 5-2. But you know what? If they're 5-2, I'm not down yet, am I? Because if the clubs don't divide, I can fall back on the diamond finesse. So by testing clubs first to find out if they're 4 in one hand and 3 in the other, followed by falling back on the diamond finesse if necessary, you don't need to be statisticians, but the way you get the probabilities here, it's 100% of the most likely to occur plus 50% of the least likely. 62-4-3 is higher than 50-50 on a finesse. The probabilities of clubs 4-3 or the diamond queen being onside is 87%. Now, I want to know if anybody played this for the style point. I would have led a club to the ace, and I would have trumped any club except the 2. I would have crossed to the dummy and led any club and trumped it except the 2. If clubs were 4-3, guess what my 13th trick would have been? Trust me, I would have taken the 2 of clubs. You can just trust me on that. I play little mind games with myself at the table. I would have established the 2 of clubs in a flash.
Way to go, Jerry. Well, as all of you have noticed, people from the South don't always talk slow. I'm not sure if it's when someone comes from South Carolina, they're around all those tobacco-selling salesmen. Jerry sure went through that quickly, didn't he? And I did want to come back and just discuss a couple things in more detail. And by the way, if you get a chance, please go to some of his seminars. They're great. There was more in the lesson that we just didn't have time to include. But there was one thing I did want to spend a little bit more time on, and that is when you're in Slam, or in this case, Grand Slam, sometimes rather than to take the finesse, we do the 5-1 promotion, provided we have enough entries. And that's the part I wanted to cover because we went over that kind of quick. With a trump lead, we played a low, and we went high to leave ourselves entries just in case we needed it. And let's talk about how many entries we need. So in a suit like this, where there's ace 5th opposite a singleton, well, we can go up to the ace. We can ruff 1. That takes care of 2. So we need 3 more entries to be able to promote the 5th. So a quick way to look at it, win 1, ruff 1, and we need 3 entries. Do we have 3 entries? We have the ace of diamonds 1. We actually have 2 spades here, don't we? Because we can take a king and win with the ace, a jack. So there's our entries. Then we just have to be sure that we exhaust trump before we promote the suit. And even if they were 3-0, we should be able to do it. This case, it was a 2-1 split. So let's take a look at that a little bit slower this time. So we played a club to the ace. We don't think that they're going to fall 7-0, so we win with our ace. And if they were 6-1, we're going to go ahead and go up with our king. Won't slow us down. They both follow. That's fine. Okay, so that's what? 4 of their 7 so far. Now we can go ahead and come in with a trump, and we can win it with the 9. A discard, ruff again, and as we're counting, there's 6 of the 7, so they're going to fall 4-3. Let's go with the spade up to the ace, ruff 1 more, and the last one will fall since we've seen 3-3 so far. We ruff it, and if we needed to, we could come in with the heart, or we can come in with the spade. So we had more than enough entries, didn't we? So we went with the spade to the queen, pitch to diamond, and at this point, we're home free. 2 diamonds, 2 hearts. Let's take a look at another different scenario just to kind of reinforce this point. You'll recall here we had it was a 2-1 heart split, and we had the ace-king. So we had 2 entries here, didn't we, with our tennises with the king-jack. Let's take a look at another option. This time we have a 3-0 heart fit. So we're going to have to play more hearts. And this time we don't have the ace queen. We've got the queen jack. This time we're going to have to work a little bit harder to do that. Let's follow through. A heart lead, good. We win high. We play our club up to the ace. Played another club. Jerry doesn't like playing the 2. He likes to save that one for the last trick. So we're going to go ahead and play a 6. Win it with the king. Okay, we can go ahead and play a another heart, and we know that the 9 is good. In some cases, you have to be careful to rough high so that but in this case, this will go ahead and go up to our jack, so we're fine. Going to get rid of the last trump. Rough one more. And they fell 4-3. And you can see, even though we had the ace-king on this side and didn't have the entries in that suit, we can go up to the ace, win it with our 2 or 5 or whichever club of choice you want. And as you can see, we're in good shape. So going back here, let's take a look at the entries this time. Remember we said 1 to win, 1 to rough. We need 3 entries. Do we have 3 entries? We have no entries in spades this time. We have 1, but we have 2 and 3. So when they've led one, we only need to come in twice more, so we have enough entries. So I hope that helps. So one of the things I wanted to drive home was that when you do have this 5-1 split, and rather than to play a finesse, you have a chance to promote the suit. Think about the entries. 1 up to the ace, 1 to rough, and you need 3 more entries to promote this last club, whichever one you decide to save. All right, I hope that helps. Once again, please do go by Jerry's site. That's jerryhelms.com. Starts with a J. And check him out. Hope you attend some of his bridge classes, his festivals, his seminars that he does. And if you ever go to the American Contract Bridge League National Bridge Championships that are held 3 times a year, check him out. He's always a speaker there. Okay, well, thanks again for coming by today. I hope you have a good week, what's left of it, and this weekend, if you get a chance. Enjoy your bridge. Until next time, this is Michael saying happy trails.